Alright, ladies and gentle ladies, today we have the balance patch for May 2024. I took a look before I recorded this video so we can go over all of this very quickly because we got a lot of things to cover in here. So, starting off with Jack-O-Lantern Win, he will now not buff the shield for himself and he can only buff shield for his teammate. So this will nerf his tankiness against unit that doesn't ignore his shield, but his job against Kakano will be the same, but he's not as tanky as before because he will lose the shield on himself. Windy is one of the strongest unit for Siege in general, and you can also use Windy for arena defense, or if you're like me and you want to throw an RTA, you can also use Windy in there. It is kind of fun, but now without a shield I will never use him in RTA again, but I think he's still going to be an okay unit against Kakano and Siege in general, but not as tanky as before. A nerf was well deserved because he is just so strong for so long. Okauga Dark getting a small nerf. She will now attack 4 times instead of 5 times because she's really good at doing damage. But I don't think that's going to be a very big nerf for Nikki user. You won't be as sad. You're doing a bit less damage, but you're still doing insane damage. I think the thing about Nikki is that she enable all her teammates really well, so all her utilities stay the same, so I think she's still gonna be absolutely insane. Battle Angel Light with the nerf. This one is the one that I like to see because hey, she's so OP. I fight her all the time in RTA. The moment you step into, I don't know, C3, you start seeing so many Veronica because they're all so strong. So now she will only increase the target skill cooldown for 2 turns. The teammate will only get a 1-turn reset, so you can potentially proc Violent out of her reset and do your immunity buff and do your damage or whatever, which is great, okay? Because before, you can't even luck sack her because she will increase your entire team skill by 2 turns. Even with a Violent proc, you will not get your skill to do anything at all. So, hey, yes, fuck Veronica. No Kabil Lord. If I have Veronica, I'll be very sad, by the way. You know, all Veronica users out there, you are allowed to be angry and sad. Kabil Lord, all of them would have a worse stun chance. Oh god, I hate Gapsu so bad. He is so good, but I hate it so bad. Raise your hand if you hate Gapsu. Kabil Lord Dark will now have a cap to his attack bar gain when enemy recover HP. In the past, he gained turn like crazy when you run a healer team, but now he will only gain 30%, which is like good but not crazy. Kabil Water will now absorb more attack bar, but with a condition. I'm not sure why they are putting a condition on Kabil Water because I think it's okay. He's like good, but not OP. The condition is he needs to have more max HP than the enemy target, which is not a really bad condition because Kabil Water is naturally very tanky anyway, so it's not very hard to build him to have more HP than the enemy. But there's a condition, which means there'll be situation where the condition will not be met if you're unlucky and you have less HP for some reason, because you have to build accuracy in the unit as well. So they are kind of nerfing Water Dokkaebi a lot for no reason. Dokkaebi Fire. I like this guy. He's underrated. He's really good. Effect added to the passive. Increase damage you deal in proportion to the enemy destroy HP. So his main job is to destroy them, put dots and strip and heal and do many fun stuff in between. He will now do more damage. I think he's going to do very good damage because the destroy always goes to max value instantly when I use him, which is great. But then, do I really need him to do like real damage? I'm not too sure, but hey, more damage, which means I will kill Camilla faster during Arena Rush, which is great. Kabil Lord Light. So the condition for the teammate to do more damage is now gone. They will do more damage, that's about it. In the past, they can only do more damage if enemy has no buff, but now they will do more damage all the time, which is great, but he's now nerfed the skill 1. I'm not sure if it's going to be more usable. My friend has him. He never used him anyway, and he doesn't really get win on defense either. So I'm not sure if this is going to help him a lot or just absolutely destroy this unit. Queen Fire and Light. Okay, Light Queen is also absolutely annoying because she is so strong thanks to Diligent making her even more popular in high rank RTA. So absorb the attack bar will now do less absorption. I like that. And the inflicted damage increase less as well. So less damage, less attack bar absorption. So rip to the Fire Mermaid Queen, who is underused, or I should say bad. But now the Fire Mermaid Queen will do more damage if she doesn't get attacked during the enemy's turn, which is the old condition anyway. She already had that. I'm not sure if that's gonna make her more usable. She just do more damage, but then nobody uses her for the damage anyway. So more damage, would that make a difference? I'm not too sure. Devil Maiden Water. This one is very exciting because now she stripped one buff, put the enemy into the bag, into demon bag, and absorb all the attack bars. So when they get out, they don't have attack bar. And also that allow her to potentially get another turn very quickly to put up the buff thing that she does. So that's very cool because now she's a strip into a full attack bar absorption. Amazing. Potentially very good on defense as well because she can strip. So if she is used on Swift and put her on defense, she just nullify one of your target for a long time. Shadowcaster Dark. So when he put a shadow on the enemy, they'll be slower and he'll be faster. So now that unit will never get a turn potentially because when they get a turn, the turn is given to the Dark Shadowcaster. So that is just amazing. But then the problem with the Shadowcaster Dark is the consistency because if you don't have accuracy, you will not land the shadow thing. And if you build him with good accuracy, he might not do damage or he might die very quickly. So I really want them to allow Dark Shadowcaster and Light Shadowcaster, which should be buff as well, to land the shadow without the need for accuracy. That would be amazing. But for now, they'll still be very hard to use because you need to build many things on them without getting a very good result back. Chimera Dark will now strip without the need to crit. I didn't know that before, but now I know. So now he can strip without critting, but if you don't crit, you don't do the extra hit anyway. And the biggest thing about this is the Dark Chimera will recover HP by 10% whenever the turn ends, which is amazing. That is self-healing, which means you will no longer need to build Dark Chimera on Vampire. You can go full Vial, and it's going to be very fun because in the past, you kind of split between Vampire and Vial. Now you can go Vial, and you don't really care about self-healing anymore because you can heal 10% every single turn, which is kind of good. And then he gets so many turns in between because he's self-buff, so he heal all the time, which is amazing because when he buff, he gain a turn, and then he gain another turn, so he heal like 20% instantly. Geral Wind will decrease the cooldown time of the skill 2 by 1 turn if you have 2 or more buff after the turn ends. So that is very not good. I don't really like that because now he get that skill more frequently, but the skill is not very consistent. So you are just getting disappointed more frequently when you have this skill, which kind of suck. And it's an HP unit, very shitty bomb damage, very inconsistent CC, so not very good. Geral Fire will now get a better stun chance skill 3. This is amazing. They are making Fire Geral more consistent, which should be the way to go for unit that land debuff. So he land dots and very consistent stun, which is good for Fire Geral. He was already okay, and now he's way better. Geral and Light will gain more attack bar when he lose the score. I'm not sure if that's going to mean anything because he's not getting a full turn, only 50% attack bar. And he's usually built as a damage dealer, which means he might die very quickly. So I'm not sure if the attack bar gain is going to mean much when he died already. So not sure about this one. Not a fan. Geral Dark will now get a better harmful effect activation rate by 20% per buff that he has. So with 2 buff, he get maximum bomb chance, which is great. But then the buff doesn't buff his bomb damage. Did you know that the passive buff his damage, but only his attack damage and not the bomb damage, which is the main way he can deal damage, not the attack damage? Kind of weird. But he really needs to buff Dark Geral to gain more damage, the bomb damage, with every buff that he has. Please. Light Siri, Flash Step, will attack twice. That is very interesting. I'm not sure why they don't buff the Water Siri as well. Like the Water Siri is just almost there. She's like Sonia, but not like a shitty Sonia. Please buff Water Siri. Like, why do you buff Light Siri and not what? You buff all the Geral, but not Water. Water Siri awaken into resistance for fuck's sake. Light Siri will attack twice, and the damage I think is gonna be the same. But when you attack twice, you can bypass certain passive that cheat death. So that is pretty cool for Light Siri as a damage dealer, one-shotter. Macaroon Guard, this one's very funny. So you usually build Macaroon Guard Fire with very high speed to get the shield thing down as quickly as possible. But you want her to be slow when she's in that state. And now they'll make her attack speed stay at 100 until the next turn start. And it's not going to be affected by speed buff or speed decrease, but that's okay. She's going to be hella slow with 100%, with 100 attack speed, and you can build her really fast to get the shield down very, very quickly. That is cool. Putting Princess Fire, this thing is also very huge. This is a meta changing buff right here. So here we have effect added to the passive. Gain immunity against stun. Insane. She was already like an amazing unit against team that provide attack by pushback and stun, which is the main CC nowadays. She will heal less and she will buff the healing of the teammate less. But that doesn't matter because now she's immune to stun, which means she can get turned very often and she can heal and she can shield, all that good stuff. That is amazing because if you stun her, then you can kill her very easily. Now, the Fire Pudding Princess is going to be so much more annoying for CC team because you can't stun her. So she can move, she can violent proc, and she can heal more and shield more. So the healing buff that she does, and now it's getting nerfed, is not going to be that important. Ifrit Light can now absorb enemy attack, but Obabo is screaming in joy because he can use his favorite unit more often and it's going to be stronger. So when Light Ifrit steal buff, he can absorb attack bar as well, which is amazing. So he disturbs turn order when he stripped, which is amazing. But the problem is, that will only happen when he steal the enemy buff. So it's going to be situational, but it's going to be great. Paladin Water will get a bigger shield. Cool. She was already annoying before. Now her shield is going to be bigger. Better assets. Hell Lady Water and Light will now deal more damage to enemy under harmful effect, the skill 2, which is great. More damage, more consistent damage. But nothing too crazy here. Beast Monk All. Oh my god. They're buffing my LD5. The skill 1 of all Beast Monk will now land as a critical hit. Oh, thank you. That is amazing. So now they can be built with crit damage and can start hitting really hard. But I'm not sure if people are going to build them with crit damage though, because I think it's still much more valuable to build them just speed HP. But then your crit damage substat will now not go to waste. So if you have like 80 or 90 crit damage on your Beast Monk, they're going to start hitting so much harder with skill 1. Desert Queen Light. This one I don't understand. So the effect order changed from Silence and then Oblivion to now Oblivion, then Silence. I'm not sure if that means anything. I guess it is great for a unit that is immune to debuff. I'm not too sure if this really mean anything. Because if they are a unit that is immune to Silence, then you Oblivion them first and then you land the Silence. I'm not sure how that will help her. Maybe against unit like the Dark new thing, the Dark Hacker, who limit number of debuffs. So you Oblivion him first, and then you may miss the Silence because you already cap out on the maximum number of debuff, but now because you Oblivion first, then you can Silence. But I think for the most part, it really doesn't matter because the skill doesn't even do damage. So it would not affect things like Camilla or whatever. I don't know. Somebody educate me in the comment section, please. Totem is Dark will now decrease more HP with a skill 4 by a little bit, 5%. Not too crazy. Still the same unit. Dark Anubis will now gain attack bar when he or his teammate get defeated. I mean, ally and the enemy get defeated while his skill 3 is on cooldown. So I'm not sure whether the skill 3 that can do big damage, if he kills with that skill, does he gain attack bar? If he does, that's going to be cool. Like Carlos, you know, that'd be very, very cool. But we'll see what happens. But after his skill 3, if somebody dies in between, he gains attack bar and then he can go and do more damage in the meantime. So he's a very slow bruiser, tanky unit. Attack bar gain is very much welcome. Striker, Fire, Wind, Dark, Iron Uppercut. Oh, so the skill 2 that put branding will now proc the skill 1 more often. So I think the Fire 1 will benefit the most because you need the Fire 1 to throw back the attack break with the skill 1. But for the other 2 unit, I think they're pretty much the same thing. So that's just a lame buff for Wind and Dark. But an okay buff for Fire. Fire Magic Knight. Vengeful. Oh, the passive. They're taking away her attack speed gain. They're putting her with an attack power. Oh my god. When she get attacked, like in Necro, you get attacked all the time, especially the boss. You gain attack power. That is so cool. So in the past, the attack speed kind of messed up your turn order sometime in Necro because she gained attack speed when her HP get lower. Now she gained attack power, which is perfect for her damage output. So Fire Magic Knight is absolutely incredible, and now she's got better as a damage dealer in Necro. Crazy. Brownie Magician, Fly, would now gain a turn with 20%. What the fuck? Oh my god, that is so RNG because the skill 1 can gain a turn if you build them on Violent. Now the skill 2 can gain a turn, potentially. The Wind and Dark can also gain a turn with the Fever Tam, the skill 2, the buff. They could potentially just Violent proc forever because they have inbuilt Violent proc in their skill, and you build them on Vio, they just go crazy. That is so funny. I think we're gonna see unit like Light or Water Brownie Magician go like 10 times in a row all the time. Sky Dancer Fire will now have an attack bar boost if you are attacking enemy with defense break. So let's say in PvE, like you're dealing with Rift Bees or R5, they always have defense break because your team have defense breaker, right? Now, if she defense break, if she attack them, she boosts attack bar and she attacks so many times. The attack bar gain is gonna be absolutely incredible. Oh my god. I'm not sure if she's gonna be good in siege defense with the attack bar buff, but we shall see. But then the attack bar gain for like R5 team will be insane. But now nobody uses it in R5. Or maybe you do. And it's gonna be funny and amazing. Barbaric King of all elements will now change the max HP decrease to defense decrease. I'm not sure if that's a good thing because they don't really buff these units. So in the past, when you enter the Berserk state, you do more damage, you get faster, but you lose HP. But now you lose defense, you keep the same HP. I'm not sure if that's a good or a bad thing because you get damage on yourself more, but it's only 30%, so it's not that crazy like a defense break. So maybe it's a buff, so they're not as squishy after using the skill 3 and enter the Berserk state. Robo, Water, and Light can now stun with a 50% chance. I don't care about that. You don't want 50% chance to stun. It's very random RNG. I don't like that a lot. The Light Robo can push back attack bar and maybe stun. Maybe. It's weird. I hate it. Pirate Captain Fire will now decrease the... Oh, wait. It will decrease the skill cooldown bombardment by 1 turn. Oh. Wait, that is the skill 2. And then he instantly gain a turn after he detonate the bomb, kinda. That is so weird. Because bombardment can now put bomb on the enemy. So he's like Ciara. But Ciara makes sense because Ciara put bomb and then gain a turn to detonate. But this guy, he detonate and then gain a turn to put more bomb on the enemy. But the funny thing is that if he start the game with the skill 3 to detonate, then bombardment will not be on cooldown. So why are you decreasing the skill cooldown bombardment if it's not even on cooldown? Very weird. I don't understand. Somebody educate me in the comment section down below, because if you want to use Fire Pirate Captain, you have a bomber and then use him to detonate the bomb. So he should use skill 3 first all the time. But the Dark Pirate Captain can now put bomb on the enemy, but less stun chance. But now he can put bomb, which is kind of funny. Also, Dark Pirate Captain will now decrease the skill cooldown full speed ahead by 2 turns if an enemy is defeated while the skill is on cooldown. So if you're using Dark Pirate Captain with, let's say, Gemini and Isabel, then after Isabel kill, then I think the skill cooldown of full speed ahead will be off. And then you can do full speed ahead again and then kill again, which is kind of cool. They are nerfing Despair as well. So in the past, if you're glancing with an enemy and they glance you, they will never Despair stun you. But now they can. So glancing just kind of gets shit on. But now they're buffing the glancing effect. So if you're glancing on the enemy, then the stun rate of the Despair will be reduced by half. But it's still going to happen anyway. If you're very unlucky, it's still going to happen. But they're just buffing glancing, aka buffing Hey Gang, pretty much. Hey Gang is not nerfed, guys, but Hey Gang is buff, okay? Glancing is getting stronger once again. A little bit. Seal Rune is getting buffed to 25%. Thank God. Because we really needed that. Nobody was using Seal Rune. Even with Triple Seal was kind of shit. Now, Triple Seal looks kind of good. Okay? Potentially. And glancing also affects Seal Rune. And we have Awakening stuff. We have Wind Siri with 121 base speed. Oh my god. Do you know Wind Siri can ignore defense turn 1? Another Wind super fast ignore defense unit that also has CC in it. Oh my god, scary, scary. Another high base speed contest that I don't have. Pudding Princess Light will no longer have the resistance awakening, but now have the skill 3 to have less cooldown. Oh, very interesting. I think Pudding Princess Light is a reviver, but that's also a great buffing skill at the same time. Maybe that's gonna allow it to be usable. Who cares about resistance anyway? Hell Lady Water will now do more damage. No, not do more damage. She'll deal continuous damage more consistently with the skill 2, but she loses her awakening in accuracy. So you have to build her with slot 6 accuracy, which is okay. I don't mind that. So more consistent dot damage. Beast Rider Wind will finally get the accuracy that they need. Years. She was so OP back then, and now she's like irrelevant. And now she finally have the accuracy awakening. So she can be easier to build. Thank you. Sky Dancer Wind can now buff immunity. Chasun can now buff immunity. Finally getting closer to being as good as Fran. Okay? Only when the target has full HP. But that's good. Okay? Another healer option. Because I want to use Chasun, but again, she doesn't have immunity, so it's kind of hard to use. Now she has immunity and very good healing. I will use her a bit more often, potentially. Magic Knight get a base speed buff. Oh my god. We need more base speed buff for unit with dog shit base speed like below 90. So now, Iris will now have 110 base speed because she awakens to speed. I like that. And now Barbaric King will have readjustment to the stat to improve monster performance. Not sure how that's gonna work, but I hope the Barbaric King will be usable. I kind of like them, but they are very, very hard to use. And also, Dark Barbaric King is a fake unit. It doesn't have very good proc rate anyway. Overall, I think very cool balance patch. We got some nerf to some meta unit. We got some fun buff. We got some irrelevant buff for sure. We got buff to unit that we don't know exists. And we have unit like Fire Pudding Princess getting a potentially meta-defining buff. She's going to be so much more popular than she already is. All right, guys, that was the balance patch. Let me know what you think about the balance patch in the comment section down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.